Hey, what up, guys? Todd Liles here. And I know a lot of the folks that are on here are not making 80 to 100,000 plus dollars per year, but you want to. So what I want to do is I want to have a conversation about how to do that because I've done that for a lot of years. I've done that in the field of being in the tech spot, and I've helped a lot of other people do that through our training. So I want to have a conversation with you about what it takes, like real life principles, and what you should be looking for, and if you're at a company and you want your guys to be able to make this money, I'm gonna have a conversation with you too. Brian, what's up, buddy? Let me know you hear me. Hit that like button. Share it too. Let's get folks on here because we're gonna have a conversation about how to make $80,000 to $100,000 plus per year being in the field. Real life stuff here. Just some simple notes that I've taken on pieces of paper. And really, it's just the reflections of things that I know that guys have to have. So I'm going to just start jumping into this, hopefully. What's up, Brian? All right, man. Cool to see you on here. By the way, as you come on here, if you would like, share with me, one of the things that you would do if you were making that much more money. Maybe you're already over an $80,000 producer, so what it's about is making $20,000 more. What would that extra money do for you? What would that extra money do for you? And the reason why I asked that question is, you got to have a why. You got to have a why, and money is a tool. As a matter of fact, I filled out a form last night, and it was for some financial folks I'm going to visit with, and they said, "Why is money important to you?" And my answer as to why money is important to me is I said, money is a gift. I see it as a stewardship. Money is a tool. You can build things with money. Money is a shield. Like literally you can protect yourself if you've got enough money coming in. You're not worried about debtors. You're not worried about all those things. Money can also be a weapon. Now don't take that the wrong way, but money can be a weapon. It can protect you, but you can also fight with it in times that you need to fight with it, right? And money is also a blessing. You can bless other people if you make a substantial amount of money. So when I say what is your why, I want you to answer that. I said we got 5 folks on here, maybe more will be on 6. I want you to answer what is your why. Why do you want to make that $80,000 to $100,000 per year? What would it do for your family? All right, because you got to start with that. The reason why you have to start with that is because if you don't have a focus on why you want to make the extra money, then it becomes about the number, and the number is not going to motivate you like you think it will. Most people think it's all about the money. It's not about the money. It's what you do with the money. So it's like, what are you going to do with that extra money? For me, it was initially about just getting out of this living paycheck to paycheck moment. Have any of you guys ever had that? When I first got started in the trades, my wife and I would balance our checkbook at the end of every week. We had $300 in there, and we were doing everything we could to make sure that we don't bounce checks. That was our early life, and I didn't want that anymore. I hated that. So I found myself asking, how do I not live in the situation? Which is going to lead me to my first 2 skills I'm going to share with you that you got to have in the trades. And the first one is technical skills. And I'm actually going to start with technical skills because I was hired as a person to do sales and I had no technical experience. And I know some people do fine at that. I did not. I say I had no technical experience. That's not really 100% true. I was working at a laboratory company, just not in the field, and I grew up on a farm with my hands. But I didn't have the practical experience to air conditioning like I needed. So I backed out and said, can you pull me out? I need technical experience. Can I just be a tech? I'll volunteer my Saturdays. So I gained a lot of technical experience very fast. I made it intentional. I wanted to learn it. I wanted to know it. So I got my technical skills. My technical skills gave me comfort so that I could have a better conversation so I could know what I was doing. Then it led me to my sales skills. Guys, I used to have these tapes. So number 1, technical skills. You got to have the technical skills. Number 2, if you're in the trades, you got to have sales skills. A lot of guys hate that part. They don't like to hear the part about sales skills. Well, I'm sorry. But if you're going to make big bucks, here's something that you got to understand. Hey, guys, I see people are on here. I want to know that you're on here. Say hello, say hi. I want to say hey right back to you, okay? But here's something that you got to understand about the trades. And you got to understand this about residential, is that every dollar that you're ever going to make is right now in someone else's pocket. Now, you're not ripping it out of their pocket. You're not stealing it from them. They're giving it to you. They give it to you for a reason. They believe you're an expert. They believe you can take care of them. And you have a skill set to communicate that. One of the things that I learned early on from Lee Iacocca, the guy that created the Mustang, I didn't learn it from him directly. I learned it through education and training, is that you can be brilliant, you can have amazing ideas, but if you can't communicate them, your brilliance won't amount to anything. Guys, as technicians, I know a ton of you guys are brilliant. You know how to fix things. You know how to do things that homeowners wouldn't even understand. But you may not know how to communicate it. So you got to pick up communication skills. Okay, so that's on you. Now let's talk about what you need, because it's not all 100% you. So you could be brilliant. You could have great technical skills. You could have great phone ring in the background. You could be brilliant, great communication skills, great technical skills, but it still doesn't make the transition for you. Why not? Well, because maybe you don't have from your company what you need. So if you're a business owner, manager, listen to this, because I'm going to share with you a few things that you've got to have set up in your companies in order to make sure that your guys can make that kind of money. All right? And guys, if you're sitting here, don't go away, because you need to hear these things too, right? And what I'm encouraging everyone that's listening to this is to put these things in your business. Don't run away from your business if you don't like what you hear and it doesn't match up. Show this video to the owner and let's get it fixed, all right? So I'm going to start with the with number 3 on my list, which is marketing. Marketing. If you are going to make $80,000 to $100,000 per year, if we're following good general principles, depends on the position that we're in, okay? If I'm in replacement sales and I'm averaging somewhere between, say, 8 to 10% commission, the math is pretty easy. If I'm going to make $80,000 a year, I need to sell $1 million. Like my buddy Chris Yancey, 8 months, 1.1. He's going into his 9th month. I think he's sitting at like 1.3 million. Average 8% commission. The guy's going to way go over $100,000 this year. So if I'm in the replacement sales side, right, I need to have good marketing so that those leads are coming to a guy like Chris. Now, Chris has to be well trained, which he is, so that he doesn't waste that marketing opportunity. But marketing is key. You got to have an appropriate amount of work, and not just seasonal work, not the ups, not the downs. You're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs, but we don't need to have craters. We need to be semi-leveled. So marketing is key. Marketing takes money, and marketing is also about branding. The more money you have, the more you can put the message out there. The less money you have, the better your branding better be. And the better your word of mouth better be. So one of the things that you got to have is a company that has the ability to keep you in opportunities. That's pretty straightforward, but you got to have it. Another thing that you got to have is you got to have great managers, and you got to have great owners. Managers are so important because what they do is they provide to you the support system that you need. They provide you the support system that you need. And you're going to need a lot of support in order to produce $80,000 to plus $100,000 per year. You're just going to. Now, if you're in the technician role completely, you go, well, how can I do that? Well, the rule is somewhere between 20 to 18%. So you can start figuring that out. It's like $80,000 a year, somewhere between that 18 to 20% pay to sales. That's $400,000. You may be going, oh my gosh, that's unimaginable. No, it's not. It's not unimaginable. As a matter of fact, technicians are doing it all over the place. Technicians that train with us as service excellence training, they're doing that all over the place. You can do it. You're obviously doing a great job when you're doing that, and you can absolutely do it. So you got to have great managers that will support you through this. Oftentimes, the managers may not even make what high-producing technicians will make. So you got to have a manager that's concerned about you and doesn't get envious. Now you got to move into the next thing. You got to have great owners. You got to have great owners, because the owners are the one who ultimately set the pay structures, and the ones who are out there approving the marketing, and the ones that are putting the vision. I just got a like. So cool, thanks. I don't know if that was from Zoe. If it was, thanks. So you got to have great owners who have a great vision, and they say, hey, look, this is where we're going. Because one of the things that I've seen in companies where there aren't great owners, and you get one guy that's doing that 80 to 100, and the other guys are not, then the other guys can't see themselves getting there because they don't have enough marketing or whatever the case may be. So it's great when one guy gets there if you're on a smaller team, but we don't want just one guy to get there. We want all the guys to get there. Now keep in mind, depending upon some of those other things that we talked about, like skills, you might have a year, you might have 2 years, you might have a little bit of time of developing those skills, and that's okay. Hey, Matthew Brewer from North Carolina. Thanks, brother. I see you. Give you a thumbs up. By the way, for those that have jumped on, let me kind of share with you the things that I've covered. You can go back and watch the video. You got to have the following components. You got to have technical skills. You got to know your stuff. You got to have sales skills. Just got to have it. Sales skills are a good thing. They're not a bad thing. You got to have amazing marketing and branding so that you stay in those calls. You got to have great managers who support you. You got to have great owners who have a tremendous vision. You've also got to be priced properly. And this is probably one of the toughest things for a lot of guys who, like myself, grew up poor to understand, which is if we're going to make a lot of money in our life, we've got to deliver so much outstanding value that the marketplace says we will give you a lot of money for your service. See, you can't get a lot from a little. You just can't. You know, what do they say? You can't get blood out of a turnip, something like that. So in order to make a lot of money, you have got to be worth a lot to the marketplace. They got to see you as highly, highly valuable. And man, so many guys they freaking struggle with that. They struggle with that so bad. Matthew's got a question. Advice for OMS. So OMS is probably an acronym for something. Hit me up with that acronym, Matthew. Tell me what that acronym means, and I'll answer your question, okay? Tell me what that acronym, Maintenance Service Technician, I'm not sure. What does that OMS stand for, Matthew? So tell me that. All right? So, guys, this is what I'm going to do here. I want to see if there's some questions from you. Matthew's got the first one. Throw out some other questions because I want to help you make $100,000+ a year. You know, I know as a tech, you might start off, as a tech, you're probably even going to start off somewhere around that 30. That's about where I started at. You're going to grow. One-man shop. I should have known that, Matthew. Thank you. I'm going to get to you on that. So if you got another question, put it in there. I'm going to start addressing Matthew. Matthew Brewer says, how do I get there if I'm a one-man shop? Well, Matthew, it's going to be very difficult to get there if you're a one-man shop. Now, don't be discouraged by that because I'm going to give you steps. And your first step is, remember what I said? I said great owners have a vision. Great owners have a vision. See, I even wrote my notes down. You've got to create a vision to get to the point to where you don't have to just be a one-man shop. Now, let me share with you why it's going to be really difficult for you to get there as a one-man shop. Let's say you're an amazing technician. I don't know if you're a plumber, HVAC tech, electrician. The pay's about the same on either side. And you can do $400,000 in residential service. Let's say you're the man and you can do $400,000 in residential service, right? And you start crunching the math on that, and you're going, holy crap, if I could do $400,000 in residential service, surely I've got $80,000 to $100,000 left for me. Not really. Or if you do, you're never going to grow. Because what happens is if you start looking at the numbers and you know them intensely like I do, on that sort of money, and it's just you, a lot of your money is going back out to purely marketing, and you find it's maybe not even enough as you would like. Typically, someone would say, 8 to 10%, so I'm putting $40,000 back out there. I've got trucks. I probably have at least one person in my office. If I don't, then I'm doing a lot of things myself. So I guess I take it back. Maybe you could make that kind of money by yourself, but it's going to be a miserable existence, and it probably won't last out past much 1 year. So, Matthew, the first thing that you have to do is you got to sit down, you got to get a vision together, you got to get a business plan together. You got to get on paper and say, how can I go from one man, and how can I go from this one-man situation to multiple people in the office, multiple people in the field. Multiple people in the office only if you got a lot of people in the field. And you got to map it out. And part of the plan might be to start with really great subcontractors that you trust so that when you sell a system, they can come behind you and install it, and they've got agreements that they won't steal that customer from you. That might be part of the plan. But I understand. Look, I started service excellence training as a one-man operation, 6 years ago. Today, I think that with everybody that's on our team, subcontractors and full-time people, I think we're up to 7 or 8 now. Shame on me. I should have just done the mental count. Interviewing a guy today, so I'm looking for the next full-time trainer. And it was a slow plan. And for the first year, it was me. It was one-man shop. First year, it was one-man shop. And I put a lot of my own personal money into starting this up. I didn't borrow a penny from the bank, but I went through $80,000 in savings to get things going. And that's just the real numbers, right? And this year, I'm well above what I shared with you that you guys should make. And teams make it so much better. So, Matthew, you got to create a vision. You got to create a plan. You got to put energy on it. If you don't know how to do that, then you got to reach out and talk to people. There are folks that can do it. There are folks that can help you get that going. We do that sort of work. Now, I'm going to tell you it is not inexpensive, but that's relative. You invest a few $1,000s up front. If it turns into a situation to where you've got a business plan and you're moving out of that one-man shop, then you're good. If you can't afford that, then do it the long, hard way. That's okay too. as long as you got enough time. If you got time, it's okay. Which is start reading and start digging. Pick up Ron Smith's HVAC Spells Wealth book. Great book. Pick up Ron Smith's HVAC Spells Wealth book. Join an organization, Service Roundtable, $50 a month. Dig in, get all of that. There's over 500 articles. Most of them are typically related to leadership or management or sales on our website over at Service Excellence Training. It's free, man. Jump into those articles and just start reading, just start getting into self-education. If you're that type of person, then jump in and start getting it. Go pick up the old books by Zig Ziglar. They got tapes. Pick up the old tapes by Tom Hopkins. Man, when I was a young tech, I wore out the Zig and the Tom Hopkins tapes. It was back in the cassette tape days, right? They got to the point where they started dragging. Wear it out. Learn, 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 and never stop learning. But don't just learn for the sake of learning. You got to do that next step. Like our motto says, you got to turn learning into earning. I know something. I got to do something. I got to pull that trigger. Matthew, I hope that helps. If it does, let me know in the comments. Zoe, does being licensed really matter when you're a top producer? Okay, so let me answer that question in a way that will probably create some interesting points of view from the field. So Zoe, I think, is a plumber, right? Plumber, I believe. If you are Zoe, let me know. I'm going to give you a like on that. By the way, hit the like button and share Zoe. So, and the reason why I say Zoe is a plumber, and the reason why I make the distinction, is when I got started in Louisiana, there was no state license requirement for air conditioning. And by the way, that's still fairly common in a lot of places when it comes to air conditioning, that there isn't like a mandated license. So here's my question then, right? If I'm in a state that doesn't even have a mandated license, then no one's got a mandated license. Are there top producers in those states? The simple answer is yes. They're top producers in that state. So for me, it wasn't about the license, Zoe. It was about the technical skills. I think you got to have technical skills. Now, some folks they look at the world of air conditioning where they got comfort advisors that don't necessarily have technical skills. Ho. Wait a minute. They should have some technical skills. They should know how to do some things like heat load calculations, measurements. They may not know every in and out of an air conditioning tech, but they should have some technical skills that are critical. So to answer your question, Zoe, all right, Matthew, good man, look into those avenues. To answer your question, Zoe, no, I really don't think that you have to be a licensed tech in order to be a top producer. Now, I'm not saying don't put licensed techs in the field when your state says they got to be licensed. I'm not saying break the law. I'm just saying some states don't have that requirement. I mean, there's some states that don't have a plumbing license requirement. California is one of them. You got to have a primary license to own the business, but everybody else underneath it, that's not the case. As far as if I'm not mistaken that, I don't think I'm mistaken that. Texas has to have a license like where we live, but a lot of states don't. I'm not sure about the electrical side. I kind of think that every state has an electrical license, but I'm sure someone's going to let me know in the comments that's not necessarily the case. So the bottom line is no. No, you don't have to have a license to be a huge top producer. You don't. You can be a huge top producer without it, but you still have to have the skills. And probably those skills would get you the license if you could pass the test, right? That's probably the way it goes. All right, guys, there's still 6 of you on here. We're talking about how to make 100 to plus 1,000, and we want to get you going. So if you weren't on the front side, the things that I've stated so far is you got to have technical skills, you got to have the ability, you got to have sales skills, which is about communicating, building your own value. You got to have great marketing and branding from your company, which means you've got to have the opportunities from your company. So that's important. And don't poo-poo on your company if they don't have that yet. Maybe show them this video. Maybe they just need some help. I'm sure they want to have all the opportunities. Never met a company that didn't want to have all the opportunities for you. You got to have great managers, people who will support you. And you got to have great owners, people with a vision. Because for a lot of people, the idea of paying someone else $100,000 a year is scary, especially if they've never had that before. But in your great companies, and great companies doesn't mean big companies. Great companies, in my opinion, are companies that are profitable, they're well ran, they're respected, they take care of their people. And you know what? You can be all of that and be $1 million, or 2, or 3, or 100. You could be a terrible, crappy company. That's not profitable. That sucks. Doesn't take care of their people. and be 100 million, 5 million, or 1 million. So great company isn't necessarily a definition by the amount of volume it produces. It's really by how they take care of their people, how they keep their promises, if they're profitable, and if they're going to be there to keep their promises after the service after sale. To me, that's a great company. You don't have to be massive to be great. Some of the greatest companies I work with are some of my best friends. They're not very large companies. They're okay with that. They're profitable. They're happy. All right, guys. That's it. Hey, if you like this, people can see this, after the fact. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Say something nice about it. If you have nice things to say about it. If not, say something negative about it. Just tell the truth, whatever that may be. All right? So as always, this is Todd Liles, and I love helping you guys turn learning into earning. It is a passion of mine. I want you to have plenty of money to support that family. If you don't have a family, I want you to have plenty of money to support your lifestyle. All right? I want you to have those things. Matthew, you got to go work in the hurricane later, fellas. Be safe, Matthew. Jason Carpenter, the last couple of years I've been around 80. The worst side of my number is IAQ. Jason, there's some really amazing folks that can assist you with IAQ. You can send me a message. I'm about to shut this down as to why that IAQ. Well, you know what? Before I shut it down, let me give you a little tip on IAQ. And I don't know you, so I'm going to give you a little tip on IAQ. Our family has asthma. I do. The kids do. And one of the reasons why I was able to sell IAQ is because I had IAQ stuff in my home. I've got 2 UV lights. I've got a high-end electronic filter, the ones that are made by the guys over at Dynamic. There are other products for sure, but I like that one. That works really well for us. We've taken those steps. So when I would visit with homeowners, we would talk about the importance of IAQ in our own life. That helped us. One of the things that I found with a lot of technicians that struggle with IAQ is that they lived a poor IAQ lifestyle. Now, I don't know if that's you, and I'm not accusing you of that. I'm just telling you what I've seen, and I'll tell you what I mean by poor IAQ lifestyle. These techs don't have clean ducts. These techs don't have UV lights in their own house. These techs don't have high-end filtration systems in their own house. And the worst is when they smoke. And I'm not saying you can't sell IAQ when you smoke, but what I'm telling you is if you're talking about indoor air quality, something that's good for your health, and you smell like smoke to a homeowner, if they're a logical person, they're probably saying, this guy doesn't really believe in it, because we know the worst indoor air quality in the world is the one that we artificially create by smoking. So, Jason, I don't know if you smoke. I'm not accusing you of being a smoker. I'm not accusing you of having poor IAQ health. I'm just letting the world know that what I have found is that people struggle with IAQ when they suffer from poor IAQ health themselves, right? Now, we also got the complete water filtration system, the activated carbon, the KDF, all that good stuff. And I'm not in the business of being in the field as a plumber. Hey, Vance, I'm not in the business of being in the field as a plumber selling those things. But I tell you what, if I was, it would be a whole hell of a lot easier because I got them. I believe in them. I've had them for years. So that would be my thought process on that. All right, guys, thanks for your questions. It's awesome. Hey, if this video is probably going to be seen by a lot of folks are going to want to know how to make $100,000 a year plus. Or maybe get out of maybe that's not even you. Maybe you're at 40, you just want to get to 60. It's the same principles. If you got questions, put them in the comments below, and I will answer them in another video. You guys are welcome. Let's go get it today. I agree, Drew. You're welcome, Jason. Todd Liles, Service Excellence Training, help you turn learning into earning. Come see us in Austin, Press Play Classroom for sales, for text managers. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.